Here we are at the Clinton African Methodist Episcopal Church. This is a National Historic Landmark.
We have to talk about Esther Dozier. She went and trained and became a minister, and she was dedicated to the community, to reviving the church, along with Rachel Fletcher. Rachel was her mentor.
Reverend Dozier became quite involved with the W.E.B. Du Bois legacy here in Great Barrington. Right. And she began a lot of work on that with Rachel Fletcher and finding out how Du Bois was associated with the church. They did find that W.E. Du Bois did come to the church. He was a secretary at several meetings, and she was just thrilled that Du Bois had come to our church. She made it her ambition to do as much for Du Bois as she could.
And interestingly enough, even though Du Bois, as a youngster, he went to the church, he went to the Congregational Church, he went to Clinton AME Zion Church, which was, the first African-American church founded in Great Barrington. In his later writings, he basically said that he was never a religious man. So I think for him, it was just a place where people actually met and socialized.
I've never been a person with a very great sense of religion. I was fairly orthodox, but certainly not fundamental.
Ultimately, he had his doubts about organized religion, but everything is there to suggest he was a very spiritual man.
He wrote on a local paper, and he had a column, and I think it was called a sewing circle or something like that, and he kept track of events at the church.
I think that fostered his desire to talk about the African American experience. He wanted to look at their lived experience. He wanted to see the injustices and wanted to talk about the things that impacted people that were like him, that were African American. Du Bois was considered a reporter for community events for the life of African Americans. I feel that led to some of the writings that he did, such as The Philadelphia Negro, in which he goes and observes life and lived African American experiences. I feel that some of that journalistic experience also factored into his work as editor of the Crisis magazine for the NAACP. That's the center of every idea, of all these gatherings, of all these events, is that it's about people, whether it's human rights, it's democracy, meeting and having the Niagara movement, the genesis of the NAACP, being a part of the Pan-African movement, being one of the delegates for the formation of the UN. This place and these experiences that he had in this place very much were important to his identity and to what the world knows him as.
There are people here who don't even know who he is, and that's because we're not able to promote him the way we would need to. We've been wanting to have a center in Great Barrington with access to the papers and UMass that were digitized, and general information, and we don't have that. And that would be another key step forward.
Here's a great man. There's nothing here that really can draw people in, and we need something in town for his legacy. And so the church has come up now, and we're looking at how can we use the church.
I think that the Clinton Church definitely could be a location of learning. There's been previous instances in which the University of Massachusetts, part of their field school, they bring these artifacts back to the church, right? So you can see this space being used as a learning lab, being used as a field school.
We've got a perfect chapel over there. We could name that the Dozier Chapel or the Esther Dozier Chapel. Mm-hmm. And then could name the parsonage the Du Bois Learning Center or Educational Center.
Yeah, we would just love to see it restored and repurposed and back in action.